855-576-8666.com.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows. And you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
The pro football playoff season is here, and there's one place to be. The BetQL Network, presented by BetMGM.
Your home for wagertainment, giving you the sharpest insights and bringing on expert guest analysis.
From point spreads to props, live betting to futures, BetQL has you covered every step of the way with wall-to-wall coverage on the road to the championship in New Orleans.
Listen live on the BetQL Network, presented by BetMGM, on the free Odyssey app and twitch.tv/BetQL or YouTube at Odyssey Sports.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Tonight we have some special guests in the audience. We have a Gold Star family that is with us tonight. Mary and Charles Strange are here. Where are they?
Where are they?
Oh, here they are. Sir, they're behind us over here to the left.
Come on up here. Come on.
They lost their son, Michael.
Come on up.
Come on up here.
It's a little harder to get up since I got shot. They've made it more difficult. Perhaps that's the way it's supposed to be.
Sir, they lost their son, Michael.
President Trump, great to see you again, buddy. Still Team 6 is the gold shot. That's beautiful. Under Obama, all 30 guys died.
Did you want to say anything?
Under Obama is right. Under Obama. Please, on behalf of your son.
I would ask, Mr. President, my son was killed August 6, 2011 with 29 other men. It was the biggest loss of life in the Iraq and Afghan war. It was the biggest loss of life in a single day in the history of America. 22 of them men were Navy Special Warfare. Till to this day, we still haven't gotten any answers. I was wondering, I'm begging you, we would like a congressional hearing.
So here's what we're going to do. In the first week, let me have it, not the first day, because I made a lot of promises in the first day. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to close up the border. We're going to do a lot in the first day. In the first week, we will set up a commission. We're going to find out, because so many people in your same position, they want to know what happened. Why did it happen to their son or daughter? And we're going to do that within the first week. So you get ready to come over to the White House, okay?
Thank you, Mr. President.
That was the promise. You heard it here at the time on Talk Radio 1210
WPHT, a promise by then candidate Trump, now President-elect Trump, who 1 week from today, from right now, will be sworn in as Trump Force 47 takes over and takes hold. Thank God. Let's bring in the father of Michael Strange, American hero, who you heard, Charlie Strange's son, killed on that fateful day, August 6, 2011. And families, Gold Star families like the Strange families, just hoping and praying for the day that they could get some much-deserved answers. Let's say good morning and welcome in our Gold Star dad from our region. Charlie, good morning. Thank you for being here. When you listen to what happened on a stage right here in our area, that promise from President-elect Trump, is there any doubt in your mind that he would do anything other than keep that promise?
No doubt at all. I believe in President Trump 100%. He's a man of action and a man that keeps his word. I mean, you seen what he did with the 4 years. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And just for you, must be a weight lifted off your shoulders in many ways to know that he's incoming. You know, he's being sworn in 1 week from today. He promised that the creation of that special commission where they will get you some answers. What kind of peace does that bring you and your family and as well the other Gold Star families?
Oh, well, I've heard from quite a few of the 60 Gold Star parents that lost their son that day on Extortion 17. That was the name of the call sign for the helicopter. They all want to go. Everybody has questions. You know, how did the Taliban know it was SEAL Team 6 that died? Why did they have IEDs around the landing site? You know, somebody has to be held accountable. The big question is the girl Joni Marquez that was in the C-130 above Extortion helicopter. She was in the fighter plane, and she asked to open up fire 6 times. She's seen the 100 Taliban down there and got denied 6 times because of the rules of engagement under Obama. So who told her not to shoot? Who told her not, you know? So that's one of the big questions.
Do you believe, what do you believe will come out of this? I mean, do you believe that your son, Michael, and 29 others were basically some kind of a sacrificial lamb because they were part of SEAL Team 6, obviously took out Osama bin Laden?
I believe it was done by design. I believe bin Laden, and I don't know if, like a lot of people probably don't know, Karzai's brother, who was the president of Afghanistan, was killed 7 days after the bin Laden raid, which really got Karzai, you know. So I believe that. I believe my son, when he came home in June of 2011, when he grabbed me by the bicep, he said, "Dad, you wouldn't believe what's going on in America." And for my son to talk about a will, I know he signs a will every time he went on a mission. He did multiple missions, never talked about a will. And then 93 days after the bin Laden raid, 30 guys get killed. And then for the military, the Armed Service Committee, to tell us it was a lucky shot, the 60 parents. Imagine if they told you your son was killed by a lucky shot.
No.
What would you do, Dawn?
I would do exactly what you and the other, 60 other Gold Star families have done. And that's just it. Even though people may say, well, this was back August 6, 2011, I imagine you relive that day because you deserve the transparency, the answers. And so until this is answered, I don't know how you or the other Gold Star families could even have peace, Charlie.
Yeah. It's brutal. Every day you think of your son, no matter what, and you walk with a limp the rest of your life. What we do, meeting the other families and talking, and for me, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I believe, I went back to the Bible with some good men and the people from Philadelphia, And your radio station. Rich came to one of our shows, you having me on, spreading the word. People do care about, what went on there. Specialty Freights, Nikki Lukes, all them people, Cardinal Communications, all these people that help out and show love, and the bikers and the police. And, Dawn, we were in Iraq for 8 years and 8 months, and then 20 years in Afghanistan. So almost 29 years of war in the Middle East. And, nobody says nothing. Nobody, except for President Trump. You remember when he called them war hogs?
Yes.
It's 29 years of war. The greatest cost isn't measured in dollars or strategy, but in the lives forever changed. The family shattered and the future stolen, while the suits grow richer and their bank accounts swell, fed by lies that sent countless brave souls to their deaths, left others fighting demons at home, and drove far too many to end their own pain in silence. You're talking about, they say 22 a day commit suicide, veterans. Say it's 15 a day, Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the over 8,000 that died, 28 years, you're talking over 150,000. That's not counting the moms and dads, the Gold Star parents that died from losing a child. I talked to parents that had cancer. I talked to the family members. Oh, he was doing great. His son got killed. He gave up. Or the parents that get addicted to the Xanax the doctors prescribe. And the brothers and sisters.
Self-medicating. You had sent me the site of, it's ext17.com, extortion 17. Tell me about the film that, and I do want to get into Pete Hegseth and what you're doing tomorrow, but I just want to, ask people to go to this site. What does this mean to you? It's a film that you've been a part of? Mm-hmm.
It's a documentary by Impact Media, Francois Garcia out of Quebec. He's been working on it for 6 years. COVID hit, a few other things happened. He's been doing films for 30 years. Great guy, big Trump guy. He's so happy they got rid of that governor up there in Canada. He just filmed again here in Philadelphia. He's been here a few times. The documentary he's going to show, they filmed in Afghanistan. You'll be the first that I'm telling, Dawn. You're not allowed to film in Afghanistan, where my son and them men died. They filmed the shooter's brother. And you should hear what he says about America and what the Taliban. And in Afghanistan, they don't have tombstones. They have a piece of wood or a rock. All the Taliban fighters have high flags. You might have seen it if you went through the website. Yeah. And this guy, the shooter, they have a tombstone for him next to where Michael and them guys died. And these kids, 10, 12, 14 years old, young Taliban, go there and pray to be as great as him, to kill as many Americans as they can, like he did in a single day. So the film shows that. It shows the questions. How did he know where the shooter's brother says how he knew that helicopter was coming, with who was in it?
I got a question for Charles. So your son, member of SEAL Team 6.
Michael.
Yes. Heavily involved with the Osama bin Laden raid. Of the 30 other Americans that were part of Extortion 17, those 3 months later when Michael was killed and the 30 others, how many were involved directly with the Osama bin Laden raid? Were there others involved with that, or was it just Michael there?
I'm not privileged to say that. Some were, some weren't. Dan, even Michael's part,
Yeah.
So I just,
yeah.
But, the truth is, a lot of this, and I think that's a piece of it, that we all know more than we're saying, and we hear more.
Yeah.
But the truth, and correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie, that the hope here is that this will be made transparent, that through these hearings that President-elect Trump has made, right, that, in other words, this will all come to light, and we will learn more and finally know these truths.
Absolutely. So we never, ever lose 30 men in a single day. That we don't stay in the Middle East for 28 years and 8 months. You seen what President Trump did his first week, right?
Mm-hmm.
He dropped the biggest bomb of all time. The mobile bomb right there. You know, when I met President Trump at the White House, I said, next time he called Charlie Strange, we'll drop like 10 or 12 on them people. And he looked at me like I was crazy, right? And his head went back a little bit, like Mr. Strange going, we might have to take him to the hat factory. And I said, well, your son's still here. And he looked at me and gave me a hug. And, you know, like this should never happen. We're the strongest military in the world. For them to, you know, fight with their one arm tied behind their back because of the rules of engagement is, you know, if it's a war, it's a war. How many attacks can America take? I'm not just talking about the Boston bombing and all the other ones. If you Google how many times they've done harm here to us, you know, so enough's enough. And we have these brave young men and women, you know, sons, daughters, husbands, wives joining the military, and then they get in there. And I just had a kid over my house the other day, and he said, you know, after being in Afghanistan, you figure out, like, you see these contractors that are there for 20 years, and what's going on, and for us to still do it, for us to still be sending millions of dollars to Afghanistan, who okayed that? Our tax dollars. The people that hate us, Iran. Like, you know, you got to be kidding me with everything, you know, that's going on with them. They give the technology, the hidden IEDs, the night vision goggles. How many IEDs killed our sons and daughters?
Which is part of the reason I know that you tomorrow will be supporting, along with many others, Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense. So will you be heading, tell us about, are you heading to D.C.? As you know, the confirmation hearings are underway. He's really the target, I would say, of the liberal media right now, as nobody even mentions that he ever served in the military or a successful Fox News host. All you hear is about, you know, allegations that he allegedly had a drinking problem, that he allegedly mistreated female coworkers, et cetera, et cetera. So how will you be supporting Pete Hegseth, and why?
Well, there's a bus right now with Navy SEAL Bill Brown and a bunch of Patriots and SEALs, and I'm leaving in about an hour. I have a few men picking me up. They'll have a press conference today at 12. Jason Redmond, a couple of Navy SEALs, Jocko, all them guys. And Tuesday we're going to meet at the Vietnam Memorial Wall and head over to the Gronka building. And why? Because Pete actually was boots on the ground. Pete was in Iraq, in Afghanistan. He's got a Bronze Star. And how can they question this guy? I mean, he went to Harvard. He went to Princeton. You know, did he screw up? Probably. Everybody screws up in life. No, last guy that was perfect, they hung him to the cross. You know what I'm saying? We're human, you know. But the way he changed his life around. So for me, as a Gold Star, I don't want. Let's have him. Do you think the rules of engagement would have been changed 6 times with him in there, like they were with Leon Panetta and Chuck Hagel, who's you know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're all going down. There'll be a few hundred of us. We're going to go to. One second here. We're going to go to.
While you look at that, Charlie, let's
Durkin's building.
Okay. While you look that up, Dan has a clip of the documentary that you were talking about. Listen in.
It was, did the Phillies win? 11, and tells me everything's getting shut down, and he don't tell me what's happening, but he said if something happens, you'll hear about it. Of course, the killing of Osama bin Laden happened. We made up a little code, me and Michael, when we would talk, and the code was, did the Phillies win? And that meant, Dad, don't ask me any more questions. He came home June, the month after that. I'll never forget him grabbing me by the biceps saying, Dad, you wouldn't believe what's going on in this country. And then the next thing you know, 94 days later, they all get killed. President Obama grabbed me and said, Michael changed the way America lives. And then I grabbed President Obama and I said, I don't need to know about my son. I need to know what happened.
So you're listening to an audio clip of a documentary that we've just broken the story that this is something that you can go to the site that I had mentioned. It's Extortion 17, and on the phone as we talk to Charlie Strange, a grieving Gold Star dad who has received confirmation and a promise from incoming president. You know, that's what I'll say, incoming. Help is incoming for all of us with President Trump coming in, right, Charlie?
Yes. And Melania, I love his. I think, like what we're doing today and tomorrow for Pete, like all the people that he picked on, Tulsi Gabbard, and for these positions, like if you're from their state, like you should take a note out of this Navy SEAL Bill Brown. Navy SEAL Bill Brown, he's the one that did he does the swim across the Hudson River with the 300 guys in August, for I don't remember. People should gather together to make a presence like we're making a presence tomorrow. This is what we, the people, want. We want people in there that know what they're doing. We want people that fought in the war, not people that sit behind a desk in D.C., Virginia, or out, calling the shots for our military that never, like Dawn, when I met some of these 3- and 4-star admirals and generals, like, being from Philly, I said, you're calling the shots. You never look like you ever been in a fight. You know what I mean? You got to be kidding me. Who's did it? Were you over there? You have to look at what's going on. And like I said earlier, like 28 years and 8 months in the Middle East and billions and trillions of dollars, like, and all the lies, more importantly. Like, our lives are shattered. My son was 25 years old when he got killed.
I know. I cannot imagine the kind of grief, but also just the feeling of having, the feeling that information and truth is being kept from you. We have calls from people right now, Charlie. I don't know if Dan wants to take, but a question from a parent concerned.
Tony in Potsdam.
Hey, Tony. You have a question for Charlie?
Hey, Don. How are you?
Good.
We spoke before. I'm Tony from Potsdam.
Hey, Tony. You had a question for Charlie?
Well, no, not really. I just wanted to say that, based on me coming here illegally to this country, but now I'm legal and I have kids that were born in America. Mm-hmm. And even though I know I'm listening to... Yes.
I thought you had a question for Charlie, so can you hang on, because we'll get to you in a moment, but I just want to keep a focus, because we have a Gold Star dad as we talk about his grief as well as the grief of others in this situation with, Charlie, your son, SEAL Team 6, and a real American hero, but the questions surrounding that. I know that there are others. I'm getting DMs, and we had calls from people who are asking the question, Charlie, why should they really allow their son or daughter to sign up? And that's a legitimate question right now. I mean, do you feel that under Trump people and under a Pete Hegseth that you would trust more for the recruitment situation, or would you still not trust for people to say, hey, I don't want my son or daughter to enlist right now?
Dawn, excuse me. I've had that question asked. Parents call me. Joey's graduating. He signed up for the Army. I say, he already signed up? I said, well, then tell him to do the 4 years and get out, because you get the credits for police, fire, whatever, government jobs. But, definitely, under the Biden administration, I've been to Fort Polk, I've been to Fort Bragg, and met these young men and women under Biden administration. They all got out. They planned on doing 16 years, 12 years. They said, nope, I'm getting out after 4 because the wokeness in the military is so bad, Dawn. It's a disgrace, paying for sex, gender in the military. So under President Trump's going to straighten all that out. He told me himself. You hear him on the news talking about this. So anybody, as long as President Trump's in there and we get Pete in there and some people to serve, that God bless them, serving our country, the most honorable thing to do for others. John 15:13, lay down your lives and protect us. Go in and learn that trade, and I believe that, like the first week President Trump, when he was president, the first week, what did he do? Boom, the VAs, boom, a raise to the military.
Yes.
It's so all the parents that are asking, as long as we got President Trump in there, do the 4, you'll learn a lot. I got a family from Utah, good friends of mine. Their son's in Nuke School. I got another kid from Brenathan. I got another kid from Northeast Philly. Shannon from Mission Barbecue on the Boulevard. Her son's in there. I tell them now that President Trump's in there, the rules of engagement aren't going to be changed 6 times. Somebody shoots at you, you're going to be able to shoot back. Under Obama, if we got shot at, you couldn't shoot back because there could be kids in the building. How about our kids? That's what I said.
Yeah.
How about our sons and daughters?
These policies matter. Well, listen, Charlie, I hope that you keep us posted as far as I know you're leaving shortly, headed to D.C., and then are you going to be in person at the inauguration a week from today?
Yes, we're supposed to go down, me and the wife. Yep. We got to wait down and something afterwards. And so as long as my wife's feeling good, my wife was sick for a little bit. She got a little something going on with the cortisol, a scare, but she bounces back. Yeah. Mary's, Northeast Philly, my wife for 19 years. But she when she tells me what to do, Dawn, I know she's feeling better. You know what I mean?
Sign of a healthy wife. Listen, to our friend Charlie, Godspeed. You're in our prayers. We want to hear from you as far as certainly after today and tomorrow. But you're always in our prayers as well as our Gold Star families. We support you and we love you. And thanks for giving us your time today, Charlie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on extortion17.com. Sign up for our newsletter, for our documentary. Comes out in August. Thank you. Michael Strange, one word, michaelstrange.foundation. Check out our new website. Love you guys. Thank you.
Love you back. Thank you, Charlie. So we'll continue around the corner. We'll take some of your calls and we'll get back. I'll get back to all of our calls, but just wanted to bring you that story of one family's journey, one father's journey. But I think he's so representative, so much a representative of many other Gold Star families who feel there has been a lack of transparency. So let's give them closure. That's the least we can do. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Virtua Health, real patients, real doctors, real complex cases. Take one.
Open heart surgery, tear in my aorta.
The most complex cases come to us at Virtua Health.
I'm sure I wouldn't have been here without you.
Being a 45-year-old, not being able to walk up one flight of stairs, I had no idea I was in heart failure.
Virtua is a premier heart failure center in South Jersey.
They changed my life. It's truly a blessing.
Want to follow our stories? Go to virtua.org. Virtua Health, here for good.
If the cold weather has you thinking it's finally time to replace those old drafty windows and doors, then there's no better time than now to make your home more energy efficient while taking advantage of Guida's big winter sales event. My good friends at Guida Door and Window are extending their big winter sale through the month of January by offering 40% off every window and door you buy. That's right, 40% off every expertly installed energy-efficient replacement window, which also includes free high-performance low-E glass. And if you're in need of a new door, you'll get 40% off any door, including insulated entry doors, sliding patio doors, garage doors, and storm doors. Plus, you can start your project with no money down and pay it off interest-free for up to 12 months. The offer is for a limited time only, so act quickly. If your home needs new windows and doors, call the experts at Guida today to schedule a free in-home estimate at 877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's GoGuida.com.
Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute have formed a powerful alliance. Legends in Caregiving New Jersey families, the most sophisticated heart team in America. Innovators in research and patient care who've made life better for thousands of patients, raising the standard for the next generation of care. The alliance between Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute means the highest quality care close to home for you. DemandDeborah.org.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra. It's Philly sports put to music at Westchester University in Pittman, New Jersey, February 21st and 22nd.
Love the orchestra.
Joe's great. He encapsulates a Philly sports fan.
Oh, I love the music. I especially like the old songs from Philly.
The impressions of different voices. That's Conklin and City Rhythm at Westchester University on Friday, February 21st. And at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey, Saturday, February 22nd. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Make your home renovation dreams come true with Emmons Remodeling.
We handle everything from concept to completion, delivering beautiful, functional spaces for you and your family to enjoy.
Our seasoned designers and construction experts ensure your project is completed on time and on budget.
Give us a call today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
With a new administration bringing optimism back into the nation, it's more important now than ever before to become crash-proof.
Anthony Torelli, Clifton Heights, Pennsylvania. If President Trump can do what he did in his previous term as president and get the economy booming again, then that would be great for crash-proof and it'll be great for my family and my future. This year, our portfolio grew by 15.7%. If I had left my funds with my previous advisor, that money would have returned about 8 to 9%, and we outperformed my previous advisor 2-1. That's interest credit that we're not going to lose with no fees involved. I'm glad the market's up, and I hope it continues to go up. But at some point, the market's going to come down again, and I'm guaranteed not to lose anything. We can continue on this pathway to success with crash-proof retirement.
You don't have to choose between security and opportunity. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the Copperfield Inn on January 22nd. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
You want to show that special person in your life how much you care? Then start the new year off with the 5 C's from Cozy Jewelers. I'm talking about color, cut, clarity, carat, and of course, the Cozy Touch. Our diamonds showcase vibrant color, precision cut, unparalleled clarity, and a carat that captures hearts. All of that adds up to an unforgettable gift, and that is the Cozy Touch. So for any special occasion, there is only one place to shop, Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square, or online at cozyjewelers.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
I zipped him too quickly, and he says, I want my damn flag. Ray in Warminster.
You Christmas story Santa Claus me. I'm hurt.
If you can come to the inauguration party that we're having at the Newtown Athletic Club next Monday, we will do the handoff there.
I'm going to do my very best, and I appreciate you guys very much.
You got it. All right. Can I hang up on him? I don't want to. All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm hitting the drop button. There we go. There he is.
Thanks,
Ray in Warminster, joining us here again.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app. Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
Updating you on the Senate. Yes, the big story, Senate confirmations, Trump's cabinet members facing scrutiny and questions, and that's teed up to begin tomorrow. That's what we've been talking about, Pete Hegseth, as well as, by the way, Governor Kristi Noem. She's another one. Doug Burgum. I think first up is, I forget which, it's another Doug, but I have the schedule I'll give to you in a moment. But my point to you is there's also, when we think about a dozen Senate Democrats, last week I told you about this, voted along with all the Republicans to advance the Laken-Riley Act to full debate in the upper chamber. And that bill, of course, named after the Georgia nursing student Laken Riley, who was murdered last year by a Venezuelan man, illegal immigrant, and reported gang member. And it would require ICE, among other things, to detain illegal immigrants who commit theft-related crimes or violent crimes, that sort of thing. Seems like a no-brainer, but that's just among the issues that we'll see this week as they try to advance important legislation. Let's get to Tony in Pottstown. I know, thanks for waiting. Thanks for holding, Tony. I just wanted to get through, Charlie Strange and what he's been dealing with. But where do you stand as far as, I know you had some questions moving forward with regard to the legislation that's being discussed and then your own kids in the military?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, Tony. Thanks for calling.
I love your show. It's amazing.
Yeah, we love Tony. For those of you who are new or don't know, Tony has called in a number of times. You've had such great points. And so thanks for hanging in there.
Yeah, YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Go like and subscribe, please.
Yes, I am under El Buceliano in the YouTube chat. Simple because that's the name of my president in El Salvador. Hello?
You're here. You're on.
Yes. So, like as all of you know, I'm pretty sure you know, I came here illegally, and thank God I became a citizen of this great nation. And now my son, who is an American citizen, who was born here, he's in that age where he's asking about the military, and I am pushing him, even though I came here illegally. And I understand the pain of the last caller, but I'm willing to go through that pain that he's suffering to defend this country, even though I wasn't born here. But this is the country of my kids, and this is the country that has opened the doors for me. And I think that, we should defend this country with our lives if we have to.
Yeah, you're a patriot and you love this country. And by the way, Tony, voters like yourself, citizens like yourself, you came to this country as a young person illegally, like a lot of the DACA kids, but then you went through the pathway and stood in line and went through the courts, and you are now a legal citizen. So I think it's a beautiful message of patriotism that you bring forth. And I think that's a piece of it, that for incoming President Trump, as he's sworn in a week from today, he has...
Love President Trump.
I know you do. And I think in many ways, the newer citizens, let's say, or the first generation, especially Hispanics, are individuals who probably can appreciate Trump or a president who says, hey, we have to be careful of what's happening in our country. In other words, the newer citizens are the ones who know what it's like in countries that are so oppressive and can appreciate the opportunities, the land of opportunities that America represents. Am I right here?
Yes. I mean, of course, I was too small to realize what my family was under back in El Salvador. Now my country is one of the best countries in the world, apart from the United States, of course.
And isn't El Bucaliano, isn't he almost like a Trump over in El Salvador?
El Bukele, the president of El Salvador name is Nayib Bukele. So Trump loves Bukele. Bukele loves Trump. We love the Argentinian president as well, because we all on the same page, if you will. We want to give back the power to the people as we the people. So my country is going through a lot of changes right now, thanks to the President Bukele. That's the reason of my name, El Bucaliano, which means, that I support my president, of course, after supporting Mr. Trump.
What's fascinating to me about you, Tony, is that you call El Salvador, quote, my country, yet you have such a profound love for the United States that I think you can also call the United States your country. And I sincerely think when we talk about illegal immigration today, what's severely lacking is there are not many people like you that share both the pride for their own country and don't, for some reason, hate America. So it's so nice to hear someone like you have such pride for our country, I got to say.
So I just bought a new house, right? Living the American dream. Mm-hmm. And in front of my driveway, I have the American flag flying high, right? And then I have the Salvadorian flag right under, because right now I am on America. So I love this country. This is the country of my kids. This is the country of my wife. And this is the most beautiful place that there is in the world, hands down. I don't care what anybody says. And I'm willing to give my kids, I'm actually pushing my kids to go and defend this country. I will, if I could. When I first got here, the first thing I tried to do was, sign in to go to war, but I couldn't because I was illegal at the time. But now I'm just too old. I'm still handsome, but just too old now.
Still handsome. I love that. I love it, Tony. I should mention that when you talk about Bukele, he's somebody who's celebrated now with reforming, but his inauguration was in 2019. So obviously the reason that your family fled to this country was because of a much more oppressive government, right? And so I just wanted to point that out, that you celebrate now the reforms.
Right. I could go kind of like a love and hate relationship with the United States, because my parents left me behind and they came to the United States. So I grew up without my parents. And then when it was time for me to come to the United States, I came to the United States, and I have never leave or spend any time with my parents because of the immigration problem. Of course, I don't blame the United States for it. I love the United States. That was, I blame my country for being so under corruption and all of that. But that was before, though. Nowadays, with Bukele, we're trying to follow the steps of the United States with our own independence, if you will, because we don't want nobody to tell us what to do. We just want everybody to let us be. So, but, I'm an American now. I consider myself as an American, and I'm proud of that. And I'm trying to encourage my kids to be proud of that, to the point that I'm willing to lose my kids at war to defend a country that's not even mine, but I know it's their country.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say this. We have Frank call in from South Philadelphia. He talks about his home country of Italy, as he says, Italy.
Right.
He says Italy. It's that
Italia.
Italia. We're a nation of immigrants. So I think it's awesome to keep one's culture, because there was a time when people did not speak the language of their home country.
I heard the background.
Right?
I heard the background.
You hear, Dan? You see, this is how well you know it. See,
National anthem of El Salvador.
Saludemos la patria orgullosos.
Thank you. I love your pride.
Oh my God, you guys are gonna make me cry. Really?
Aw. Well, thank you so much, Tony, for calling, for your patriotism. You always make my day, and you make all of our day. Thank you, Tony.
Before I go, please, I just want to say one thing. For all those people who come to this country, for everybody who comes here searching for the American dream, continue working hard, continue doing what you want to do. Remember that you got to respect the laws, you got to respect everything. And the American culture is the most inviting culture that there is in the world. Believe me, I was raised outside of this culture, and it's not cute. America is the best thing that could have ever happened to this world, hands down. And I'm telling you, you can believe me because I lived it in real flesh.
Tony, thank you so much. God bless. Till next time.
Have a good day.
You have a blessed day. We will. There's an inspirational story coming out of the deadly wildfires, by the way, in California. We'll bring you that one, and it has to do with the Blessed Mother and a statue that survived the fire, and a family really coming together and singing. It's just a beautiful, inspirational story. We want to share that with you. But, Tony was just talking about earning and the American dream. I think immediately of my friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles. If you're at that place in your life where you earned it, now it's time to go get it. And I'm talking about Piazza Premium Automobiles, featuring the very latest in luxury vehicles. From today's top brands: Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. These models have such sleek new designs as well as innovative features, and they're powered by the very latest in technology. Piazza has thousands of these new and certified pre-owned vehicles. They're available right now across Piazza's Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey dealerships. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Visit them. PiazzaPremiumAutos.com, Piazza, PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
In a world filled with financial information, Citizens can help you make sense of it. So whether you're signing up or hitting snooze on some financial newsletters, scrolling through your socials that all seem to be saying the same thing, or getting together with your neighbors at a cookout to game plan college funds, you're ready to make the most of it. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Learn more at citizensbank.com/made-ready.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
The Sixers are scrapping their Center City Arena plan and will work to get a new stadium in South Philly. The company that owns Crozier Chester and Taylor Hospitals in Delaware County has filed for bankruptcy. And the Eagles will host the winner of tonight's Rams-Vikings game in the divisional round of the playoffs next Sunday.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
The following
following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's hear this tiger purr, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, over 3 million people called Morgan & Morgan in their time of need. And with over 1 million of those calls coming from previous clients, friends, and family.
My name is Jason Williams. It was a rainy day, and I'd gotten hit from behind by a lady that was doing somewhere over 100 miles an hour is what they were saying. I've never dealt with anything like this before. Everybody that I talked to kept saying the same name, which was Morgan & Morgan. I was on hold for maybe 15 seconds. When they come back and said, Jason, we will absolutely take your case. As a non-tech savvy guy, any question that I had, if I called, text, or emailed, they got right back to me. They made it as easy for me as it could have been.
Thank you for trusting us. We've become the largest injury firm in the world because we've won a lot. The word is out. Size matters. Reputation matters. We're America's largest injury law firm for a reason. With over 900 dedicated attorneys and climbing, we're ready wherever you are, whatever you need. The choice is easy. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you. Morgan & Morgan, official partner of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks, this is not a drill, it's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
You got me.
You got me. So in the latest, just updating you on the California wildfires and the fallout, the death toll rising to at least 24 people, 16 people known missing. And then the suggestion in the headlines that there's some evidence as to a possible cause of one of the biggest fires. So we have that going on. I will tell you that over the weekend, there were many people pushing back on all the media coverage of the California fires, pointing out the fact that after those two powerful hurricanes struck the southeastern United States within weeks of each other, leaving just such devastation, and people still devastated after the two hurricanes, Helene and then Milton, remember? And so we're talking about not just Florida, but Georgia, the Carolinas, and beyond, with all of the widespread destruction, lives disrupted, homes wiped out, destroyed, and then critical infrastructure damaged or completely wiped out. And so we see people, especially in Western North Carolina, and these people are not living in the Palisades. They're not living in Hollywood Hills. They're not living in $1 million homes. These are working people wiped out and having nothing. And then winter, they're having a harsh winter. They just had storms and FEMA money running out. And then as well over the weekend, North Carolina putting out there that you still owe taxes on your property, even if your house is gone. And so it seems so apathetic. So I just wanted to point that out to you that, yes, this is a tragedy happening in California, but let us not forget those hurricane victims that are still dealing with the devastation and now moving into winter. So I had reposted some of that. When we think about this week, part of what we're looking at, and I know we spent a lot of time this morning on Kale and Company talking about Democrat policies that have failed the people, and then how we all pay, because what are they doing? They're saying, well, where's the money? Bring in the federal dollars. So dangerous winds are set to return this week, those Santa Ana winds, high winds. And so this is what we face this week, a lot of finger pointing, and we'll talk about that moving forward. But there was a light and bright moment with one family who returned to the site of their home, and now the children, now adults, raised in the home, And this is a Christian family, and they literally stood in the ashes, the rubble of what was their home, realizing that a statue they had in their backyard, a stone statue, but untouched by the flames of the Blessed Mother. And they stood around this statue and they began to sing. Listen in.
Regina Caeli, laetare alleluia, laetare alleluia, mia premeruit sigmacare, alleluia, alleluia.
Beautiful. So you may ask yourself, why would a family, they've lost everything. They've lost their home, they've lost all those memories, the pictures, have to rebuild, but they were singing Alleluia and praising God for saving them. They're there with their health, their family.
I do have audio from them if you want to hear them.
My wife, she was concerned about going up there because she didn't think she could do it, but it was healing for us to get onto our property. And what happened there, we were so lucky. We had to sneak up there, I'm sorry to say. We had to break the law to get back to our property. But all our children who live in the area were able to join us there, our adult children. And all those adult children combined, we have 14 grandchildren and one on the way.
Oh my goodness.
But when we got up there, we all just stood around, and it was remarkable that how everything had gotten fried, but the statue of the Virgin Mary and another statue of St. Joseph were in perfect condition. Obviously, they were a little singed. And we just took that opportunity to pray. Our home is dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus and always has been, and all my family members, my extended family. So we said a prayer to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and then we sang that special song that our entire family has known for decades, to the Blessed Virgin. And it was a remarkable thing. Our intention was not for this thing to go viral at all. It was pretty much just a family thing. But the response from the community has been unbelievable.
And so this is, to me, it was just a beautiful story from the Halpin family. This Peter and Jackie Halpin. This is their home of 37 years, and they raised their big family there. They said when they moved in, I think they've expanded it, but I think they had one bathroom, 2 or 3 bedrooms. And so they just had a beautiful message, I think, of prayer and being thankful that their family members, that they survived, they're healthy, and this as the death toll is rising. I just think, we don't talk enough about faith and the power of prayer and the power of a family's faith coming together. When you think about the mental health crisis and certainly the anguish that people are suffering from, whether it's the fires in California, whether it's the floods and the hurricane devastation that we've seen in the South, people coming together like this as a family, holding hands, singing in prayer. It was just a beautiful message, to me. And I think we don't, in the media, you don't see this balance of faith, especially at a time with the mental health crisis we're seeing. Barb in Turnersville. Good morning,
All right.
Barb.
Alexa, stop.
Hi,
Hello,
Barb.
good morning, Dawn.
Good morning.
I just can't tell you, at 10 o'clock when you started, my heart went out to Gold Star Dad. And as a 29-year military nurse, still serving, 8 years under Obama, 4 years under Biden, and how painful those were and how detrimental to our military. I have been to Iraq and Afghanistan, saw our troops firsthand. And I'm just grateful what we're doing, and grateful that we have a new administrative. And of course, I'm not supposed to be political. So what I wanted to say is that we have quite a few, now this tagged in, we have quite a few on the enlisted side of the house who you cannot commission as an officer if you are not a citizen of the United States. And in light of what happened the last few weeks in Las Vegas and New Orleans, just breaks my heart. Yeah. It kind of shows you we have problems.
Yeah.
But what I do really want to say is that I presented, we have legislators, the Guard. I spent 25 years in the reserves and the last 4 in the Guard. But the benefits that the Guard does, and I'm going to tie it in with everything you said today, natural disasters, even working the election, will be tasked to the election. Medically, I'm trained for hurricane response, whatever. We go everywhere. So we have a nursing shortage, very large nursing shortage across everywhere. And one of the recommendations I made that we look at maybe commissioning on the officer side, because educated bachelor prepared nurses and doctors and even chaplains, our chaplains corps is facing the same issues that we have, that if they want to enlist to get their citizenship, that they must enlist. Well, that's a whole different basic training. Financially, they really can't afford it. So I am asking our legislators and the Pentagon if we think about creating a pathway to citizenship in the military as professionals such as nurses, doctors, chaplains who are educated, who are licensed. And that was one of my things that I propose, and I look forward to President Trump signing my retirement in the coming in the shortcoming area. So that's what I wanted to say, and I thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Most of all, thank you for your service, Barb. It's a great message as we have recruitment issues on all of these. Barb, thanks so much for calling. Really do appreciate you. And, of course, it's the top of the hour. We will be updating you on everything that's going on. As we know that locally, we have Mayor Sherelle Parker will be addressing this surprise pivot, if you will. The Sixers stadium staying in South Philadelphia. Looks like they'll get a new stadium. But what about Market East? We're raising those questions and looking into that. And that's a local story. As well, we have the Quademic here and learning from wastewater testing that, in fact, we know that COVID, the flu, RSV, norovirus are surging in this region. So some of you talking about that, I know we're in separate booths from each other, and Dan this morning and Jimmy Kelly, we've all been just separated because of all this illness going around. You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm doing better. How about you? Still on the chest a little bit. Yeah.
It just lingers. And then your immune system, because it's embattled, then you go to work or your kids go to school. I kept David home on Friday because he had a fever.
Oh, yeah?
I said, you're not going to now you're going to be
I'm
exposed.
sure there was tons of protests when David were having to skip school, huh?
Well, I kept him home, so I was the excuse. Because the truth is, if you have a fever and your immune system is already embattled, then what happens is you go to work or school, and now you're going to catch, because it's a quademic. There are at least 4 or 5 different things. Now you're going to catch 2 things at once. I'm just saying.
Power through it.
Yeah. I kept him home where Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding, they've kept my home much more beautiful, I tell you.
Keep them warm.
Energy efficient, for sure. You know by now, Chapman, and here's the thing, I hope that you, even if you don't need anything, but we always need something, but go to ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Just write him a note. Thank you, Chapman, for supporting us here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for many years, as you well know, because our sponsors are the wind beneath our wings. I wouldn't be here, right? These are loyal sponsors who believe in what we're all about, right? So please support them. Chapman, the Chapman family team. Here's the thing. Until the end of this month, until the end of January, get 50% off any standard door installation when you buy a new door. So a new front door, it can change. It's like a total makeover just with that one change of a front door. And maybe you have some upcoming events, maybe a graduation upcoming, a family party. Why not just bring forth that new door and give your makeover look? Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding, they carry a range of top brands to choose from, including Provia. That's what I have. They're going to work with you to pick the very best door for you. Visit their showroom in Westchester or they can come to your house too. So whether it's windows, doors, siding, shutters, hardware, you can call, you can text 610-431-8898, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Make sure you tell them Dawn sent you.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra. It's Philly sports put to music at Westchester University in Pittman, New Jersey, February 21st and 22nd.
I'm glad I came. Best ever.
The highs, the lows, that band.
The music, the singing, everything. You laughed, you teared up.
That's Conklin and City Rhythm at Westchester University on Friday, February 21st. And at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey, Saturday, February 22nd. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hi, it's Nick Kale. If you missed our Veteran Spotlight this month, you missed the story of United States Marine Corps veteran Gabe Rangel and how he is still serving our community with the Travis Manion Foundation. Check out the podcast or the video at 1210WPHT.com and click on our Veteran Spotlight. You'll be glad you did. It's all presented by Window Nation. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Oh my God, what am I going to do if TikTok is banned? So that's my little imitation of somebody who's obsessed. But is TikTok really getting banned? And will the Supreme Court, there are many sites this morning I know saying, they're leaning toward upholding the, quote, TikTok ban. So what is that going to look like? We want to get into this issue because the Supreme Court's considering, right, whether or not to uphold this. It goes into effect the 19th. They did this one day before the inauguration, 1 week from today. And I saw that Mr. Wonderful, he wants to buy it and relieve the issue, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, it's never a good look to go on air with pajama pants and a glass of Chardonnay. I'm just saying.
Why not?
That was was his viral hit. I don't know. But what they're saying is that it has to do with national security concerns.
It does. It really does. And we often hear the discussion. I know Rich Zioli in the afternoons is very, very much against the TikTok ban, noting the freedom to do business, it's to keep government out of this kind of stuff, right? But there's also the true reality that the Chinese government has something called Douyin, which is the equivalent to TikTok out there in China that shows really good stuff to children, community service, and their children in China, they want to aspire to be astronauts or good careers while we have social influencers in our like children are being really
But is that
harmed
the issue?
by this.
What they're claiming is that it allows China to spy on us.
Well, it does. They get all this data, this breach our phone essentially, but then on top of that, there is a subversion, an ideological subversion going on in society right now of young children purposefully by and a bad government, a foreign adversary. And we as a government need to protect our children.
Should the government protect the children, or is it up to you as a parent to, parent?
That's a good point, too.
We do have one expert, and this is the Parents Television and Media Council in one Melissa Henson, who can perhaps answer some of these questions, because this is what I hear. This is the debate. There are some people who say that parents should parent, and they're the ones who should make sure that their kids are not being influenced by social media. On the other hand, we hear about the national security concerns, right? So these are all the questions swirling. And then, of course, you, 855-839-1210, you say what? So I know just last fall, in October, at least 14 states filed suit against TikTok, and they say that this video app actually harms the mental health of our young people, has different algorithms. So there are a whole lot of issues here. Can we bring in Melissa Henson, who's a vice president with the Parents Television and Media Council? Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. So we wanted to kind of tee that up. Dan, our executive producer, Dan Borowski, is very fired up. He feels that TikTok should be banned, that this is a terrible situation. Others...
Well, Suze loves Jeffy. YouTube.com/@talkingwpht says, no bans, no blocking, no mandates. Don't use it. Get over yourself. Stay out of my free choice and free speech.
So you say what, Melissa, as somebody, you're an expert in this area. I know that you've testified to, what's going on here. What do you see when you look at, what's going on with TikTok and what could happen on the 19th if SCOTUS upholds what is to come?
Yeah. Well, I want to make one thing clear up front, which is that the case that is presently before the Supreme Court has nothing to do with mental health or the safety or mental health of our children and teenagers that are on TikTok. It's exclusively dealing with national security concerns. However, that said, a big part of the reason why a lot of states are looking at banning TikTok is specifically because of the connection to negative mental health outcomes for children and teens that are on that platform. And what's fascinating, there's a Substack after Babel, and recently they posted TikTok is harming children at an industrial scale. And what they did is they went through the state-by-state filings, and in some cases they looked at internal marketing memos, internal marketing documents from TikTok, and they found really pretty horrific things that TikTok is well aware is going on and has done nothing to mitigate. So, for example, they know that the leakage rate, for example, and that's bad stuff getting past moderators, 35.71% of normalization of pedophilia content is getting past moderators. 33.33% of minor sexual solicitation is getting past moderators. 39.13% of minor physical abuse content is getting past moderators. 30% of leading minors off platform. 50% of glorification of minor sexual assault. And 100% of fetishizing of minors is getting past the moderators. And that's, in addition to, they found documents confirming that they know that underage girls are stripping for adult males for whatever the online currency is that they're using in TikTok. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of pretty horrific stuff going on there. And the moderators and owners are aware that it's going on and have done virtually nothing to mitigate the abuses.
Yeah, and so part of what I see here in the conversation, first of all, with the states that are suing for SCOTUS, I guess at this point it's more of a national security issue. I wonder if the states will, by what they're doing, they're putting forth a states' rights issue. But certainly the bottom line for me, and I have friends with young kids, my kids are teenagers, but 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds who, there are moms groups especially who keep an eye on exactly what you're saying. So there was a time, Melissa, on TikTok and other social media platforms where I know this one guy was on there, and he was on seeming like trying to look like a Mr. Rogers type, but then would say something like, if you're having questions, just go to this private site, where
Yeah.
you and I can just talk. And it was like, ew, well, what's going on here? And but the problem, I'll be honest, Melissa, a lot of parents, they need to parent. I mean, they're oblivious to this stuff going on.
It's absolutely true, but it is very, very challenging because the rate of adoption for these new social media platforms, I think, really outpaces what parents can reasonably be expected to stay on top of. As soon as parents have figured out Facebook, kids are on to Snapchat, and once they've finally figured out Snapchat, kids are on to Discord, and once they've finally figured out Discord, they're on to Instagram, and just the rate of adoption, these new social media platforms being disseminated. I've seen a number of stories recently about something that is, just cropped up within the last 6 months, something called character AI, where kids can engage with chatbots based on, fictional characters that they like. And these conversations very quickly turn sexual, even though these are, 12, 13, 14-year-old kids using these chatbots. So it's really disturbing, and it's really more than a parent can stay on top of, or more than you can reasonably expect a parent to be able to stay on top of.
So what's the answer? I mean, what are you advocating for to protect America's children?
Well, certainly, we need to, as a culture, we need to just stop getting our kids on these social media platforms, stop giving them smartphones at such a young age. There are a number of organizations out there. One is called Wait Until 8th, that's advocating waiting until 8th grade. I would say wait until they're 16 or older, because kids are too young to really exercise good judgment when they're using these smartphones and devices. There are too many risks, too many dangers. We need to make it the cultural norm that kids are not going to have smartphones when they're in middle school, and we need to put policies in place in middle schools and high schools and after-school activities to normalize kids not having smartphones at such a young age. But beyond that, I think we need to be really looking at what can be done at the legislative level to mitigate the harms, because we can't count on these tech companies to do it. They've had ample opportunity and have really failed to take adequate measures to protect kids when they're on those platforms. So, Mark Zuckerberg was up there on Capitol Hill about a year ago and was faced with all these parents of kids who died because of content that they were fed because of the algorithms on Instagram and Facebook and other social media platforms. They took their own lives, or they were encouraged to commit suicide, or they were encouraged in disordered eating or other harmful behaviors. And, they've been aware that these things have been going on, and they've done nothing to mitigate the harm.
Are there any, for example, because this is what you're talking about is a real battle, because kids go to school, and maybe a good percentage of kids as young as 8 years old have some kind of a smartphone or smart device. And then another group of parents has said, no, they're not, especially, before middle school, they're absolutely not going to have it. Are there, from your group and from your perspective, are there smartwatches that promote health, that give, because I know there are some advertised that they give parents total control and they promote health, but the parents actually, there's an app through by which the parents can allow their kid to, for example, call 911 or maybe do some health advocacy type stuff. Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I mean, there are, for parents who are greatly concerned about not being able to be in constant communication with their kids or not know where their kids are 24/7, I would say, for one thing, for generations, parents have had the ability to call the school office if there was an issue, and parents still have that ability to call the school office if there's an issue. But there are other ways to get in touch with your child or to keep track of where they are. You can get, Apple has trackers, there's the Tile. There are other devices so that you can get geolocation for them. There's Bark has a smartphone that's very much locked down. There are smart watches. Gizmo Watch, for example, is one that's available through Verizon. I think pretty much every cell service provider has some variation on that, where you can severely limit what they can do on those smartphones and devices. and really limit who they're able to interact with, and really limit what kinds of apps and contacts that they're able to have with others through those devices.
And so for you, what legislation are you supporting? I know that the states are working together, but is there not, and I know you've testified to this, so what legislation would you hope gets passed?
Yeah, we were really hopeful that the Kids Online Safety Act was going to get passed during this last Congress, and it had nearly unanimous support in the Senate. Unfortunately, it hit some major roadblocks because of a lot of tech lobbying on the House side. And there was a lot of misinformation being spread by tech lobbyists who spent millions and millions of dollars trying to block legislation that would hold them accountable. And if they had our kids' best interests at heart, if they were genuinely concerned about keeping kids safe online so that they could use these platforms in a responsible and safe way, then surely they would have backed this legislation. That would have allowed their platforms to continue to operate. It would just give more control to parents over content. But the fact that they're trying to limit the control that parents can exercise over social media platforms should really be a signal as to, what their true intentions are and how disingenuous they are when they say that they're committed to children's safety.
So do you expect that upcoming it will get reintroduced?
I sure hope so. And Speaker Mike Johnson did say that they were going to wait until the new administration was sworn in to pursue this. But I know that there's a lot of reservation, a lot of hesitancy. I know that there are expressed concerns about, is this going to have a chilling effect on free speech? But I don't think that's really what's going on here. I think it's really just that tech lobbyists are pouring millions and millions of dollars into misinformation campaigns to block this legislation. I don't think we really need to be concerned about our political expression. What COSA is designed to do is give parents better control over the platform and set by default the strongest parental controls on the platforms. So those who want to have looser controls are always free to go in and loosen those controls. All that COSA would do is ensure that the strictest parental controls are there by default. And it would also put some burden of responsibility on these media companies to mitigate harm if it's foreseeable that something harmful can come of the content that they're allowing on the platform. So if they're allowing, pro-anorexia content, or if they're allowing content that shows you how to find drugs online, whatever that kind of content might be. If it is foreseeable that there could be a harmful consequence, it is up to these platforms to mitigate that harm.
I was reading this morning that the incoming future First Lady, Melania Trump, was going to expand her Be Best platform. I just have to wonder if perhaps what we need here is an informational campaign. You think of way back in the day, a very successful campaign that was started, I don't even know when, decades ago, the Stranger Danger campaign.
Yeah.
And maybe to revive something like that, run PSAs to remind people of the stranger danger that's now on your phone, on TikTok, on social media,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, a lot of parents, they put these devices in their kids' hands with the best of intentions, but it's really pretty naive to think that the kid's only going to use it for the intended purpose. Every single day I see stories from parents, I should have known better. I regret having gotten this for my child because of XYZ, whether it's their child being sextorted, they uploaded some naughty pictures and all of a sudden these pictures ended up in the hands of a bad actor who's now trying to get money out of them to keep the pictures from going public. I mean, these kinds of things happen on almost a daily basis. And it's really pretty naive of parents to think, well, my child is too smart to fall for this, or my child is somehow immune to this. It's just not realistic to think that our kids are always going to be smart and exercise the best judgment. Even as adults, sometimes we're not always smart and don't always exercise the best judgment. And even adults have a hard time moderating their screen use or their time on Facebook or their time on Instagram. So it's pretty naive to think that our kids are going to exercise more self-control than we do as adults.
Well, listen, I hope you come back and keep us updated on what's going on. Melissa Henson with great advice in the meantime for parents, because I think parents and caregivers are at the front line of this battle. Melissa Henson, thank you so much joining us with the Parents Television and Media Council. Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. So if you have thoughts on this, 855-839-1210. I know it's something that, we think about all the time in our family and have dealt with over the years. 855-839-1210, the number to call. We'll take a quick break. Around the corner, update you on the breaking news that's just happening now and your calls. Be right back.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save a buck or two. The bad.
Kevin, there's no hot water.
So you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating.
Call Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. He's been helping folks prepare for retirement for over 30 years. That's why he's able to correct your do-it-yourself problems before they're problems.
Get your complimentary assessment of where you are now and look at some of the retirement boxes you haven't even thought of.
Kevin!
You can't YouTube your retirement. Call Joe Yakovich at 856-925-6674 or visit jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
It's time to get focused. Focused on improving the lives of our beloved pets by feeding them the most nutritious pet food on the planet. With 2 decades of experience, the Dogs and Cats Rules stores can guide you in the right direction to meet your pet's needs. Fads come and go, but there's no substitute for premium meat inclusive food for your pets. If you changed your pet's food lately and they're starting to look like a shaggy dog, smelly ears and biting their feet all the time, you need to come into one of our 7 very convenient locations or visit dogsandcatsrule.pet.
If you're talking, they will hear you every single time.
Oh, we're getting killed.
Yeah, well, Kyle's not here.
How come?
Kicked off the team. Didn't Tim tell you? Kyle and some other kids got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Come on, it's a first offense, right?
That we know of. But why should that matter? He knew not to drink. I've made it clear to Matt that's what we expect from him. What have you said to Tim?
Nothing really. A lot of kids try it at this age, so...
Yeah, well, a lot of kids don't try it too. I'm not saying that Matt's gonna be this perfect kid, but if I don't tell him what we expect and why he shouldn't drink, how's he gonna know?
You think kids that age really listen?
They never admit it, Bill, but they hear more than you think.
Talk. They hear you. For more information about talking with kids about underage drinking, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Maria here to tell you about the exciting things going on at Lexus of Cherry Hill. The L-certified winter collection sales event is going on now. New year, new ride. Receive special finance rates on L-certified Lexus models now through March 3rd. Over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Lexus of Cherry Hill is family and veteran owned and operated, and a 7-time J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence recipient for the customer sales experience. Visit LexusofCherryHill.com.
For J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence information, visit jdpower.com/US-DOE.
At California Psychics, we know that when you haven't found love, it feels like everyone else has. Every movie has a love interest. Every song is a love song. Where are all the songs about cats? Or the joy of early bedtimes? And of course, the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to help you find the one. We connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So you could be feeling all lovey-dovey real soon. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Hey, Warminster, we know your favorite station is WPHT.
Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
Many updates as we look at what's going on as far as the looting, the criminals under arrest who are taking advantage of that tragedy out west with the wildfires, expected, unfortunately, to be fanned by heavier winds that are moving in early this week. We're watching that very carefully. The death toll, 24 killed, and many more individuals reported missing. A real tragedy there. And then over the weekend, I've been talking about the fact that FEMA money, I believe it got a short extension for folks who survived the two different hurricanes in parts of Florida, but especially the Carolinas and Western North Carolina. So 855-839-1210, the number to call. I also know that we're watching very carefully a planned news conference with that sudden about change, the pivot, if you will, the word that the new Sixers stadium will not, in fact, be going to Market East, but rather staying in South Philadelphia with a new stadium. That's what we're hearing. But Mayor Sherrell Parker, as well as other officials, are expected to, any moment, they're expected to call this news conference. So when they do, we'll bring you the latest. You're not going to miss a thing. So much happening as we're also teed up for we're 1 week away from the big inauguration. We hope that you join us. Certainly in Bucks County, we'll all be there a week from today. We've been talking about that as well. I want to get to your calls, 855-839-1210. You have questions about maybe the wildfires raging, those survivors in the Carolinas, a lot of natural disasters.
Yeah, that's Andy in Center City.
Hey, Andy. Thanks, Dan.
Hey, good morning. I love your show. How are you?
Thank you.
Hey, belated Happy New Year. I was listening to you this morning, and I've been watching the news coverage, and I think that I thought back on how poorly the people in North Carolina were treated by the Biden administration. The vice president showed up and gave them checks for $700 that they had nowhere to cash. I'm looking at California. I give to Samaritan's Purse for North Carolina, but I'm really reluctant now to. I want to be careful where I donate for California. I want to donate to the kind of people that stood in front of their house, said the rosary. I want to pray to the husband and wife that was interviewed last night, a Hispanic couple, poor people that lost everything.
Yeah.
A guy came on and was interviewed the other day, and he said, "Oh, and this morning I was in my Olympic swimming pool, and now everything is gone." I don't want him to get 5 cents. There must be a charity that you can direct your money to go right to the darn poor people that really need the help. The poor people.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned...
What would be your advice on that?
My advice is the one that I donate to that you just mentioned, which is Samaritan's Purse. They're also in Los Angeles. They're helping those needy individuals that you're just talking about.
Yeah.
And they're a 501c3 nonprofit. But
I know. I've given money to them for North Carolina. I do that periodically because I contacted my friends who live near the flooded area. Maybe what I'll do is I'll donate to them, and maybe I can target it. There's a spot on their form that you can fill out and say kind of where you want the money to go. You know, I'm really reluctant to send them maybe $400 or $500, and then some millionaire is going to get a few bucks to rebuild a swimming pool.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, I agree with you, and I think that's to the point. You want a group that's on the ground. I know that, for example, the Red Cross, when people donate to the Red Cross, the Red Cross is still helping people in the Carolinas as well as, to the people affected by the wildfires. But Samaritan's Purse, and people, if you don't know this nonprofit, it's SamaritansPurse.org.
Yeah.
But they're a group known for, going to the area, and they discern, like you're saying, they're not just doling out money. I think that they're careful to make sure that it goes to the neediest of people who've lost everything.
Okay, well, you know what I'll do? I'll use that again. I have a form downstairs. They solicit me infrequently. I thought the people of North Carolina were treated terribly by the Biden administration. When we had the train derailment in Palestine last year, a year or two ago, the Biden administration, they were poor people in Ohio. Biden ignored them. North Carolina, they ignored them. They don't have swimming pools down there. They live in trailers. They don't have multi-million-dollar homes. But I'm going to take your advice on that, and I'm going to go online to Samaritan's Purse. I know they're wonderful people. They do great work in North Carolina. Keep up the good. You got a great show. Take care.
Thanks, Andy. You take care too. If you go to and I always say, make sure that if you're donating to any site, I always say, make sure, look it up, do your research that it's a 501c3 nonprofit, because that means they have to answer to somebody. They have to be transparent with where all your dollars are spent and that sort of thing. And then they'll tell you how much, because they use volunteers. And so you want, you hope that 99 cents on the dollar, for example, goes to, the people who need it the most. But in seeing over the weekend, they're having a tough, unusually cold winter, unfortunately, in the Carolinas and Western North Carolinas. And so people who lost everything, maybe they had a home and now they've been living in an RV. The problem is they need the propane. And so they're just really, it's a real struggle. And you have a lot of family people. So I know Samaritan's Purse has been helping the folks in the Carolinas devastated by the hurricanes that struck last fall. And now Samaritan's Purse, I know that they've launched out, that they're out west in California as well. And that's among these, the winds are picking up and there's a resurgence. I hate to see this, but we're seeing the winds pick up. So hopefully, I hope to God that they're figuring out better ways. I know they brought in all of those. Did you see the video over the weekend of the Canadian pilots and how they scoop up?
That? Yeah,
it's amazing. And they had from help from Mexico, help from our neighbors to the north in Canada, just in the firefighting efforts. And I think that's a beautiful thing that our neighbors have come, the volunteers and so on, they're coming to aid us and that we receive that. But on the other hand, you have to ask yourself, why doesn't California have that plan? You think of the Canadians, they have these pilots, they've trained them, they have the aircraft. And so we're getting the help from our neighbors to the south and the north because of a lack of a plan, it would appear, by those out west in California who have way more money to work with, by the way.
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Go like and subscribe. We're playing the video there now of those crazy cool planes that they brought down from Canada.
Look at, if you look at this video that Dan is playing right now, you see these huge planes and these pilots who I imagine maybe they were military trained, because to imagine that they have that balance, they're literally like a bird almost, like scooping with their belly. And this is in the Pacific Ocean. This is not like glass, smooth water, right? And they have to skim their belly, basically, of the aircraft to scoop up all this water. Now they're heavier, and they have to balance this out and then take off again. These are some bad talented pilots, right? Look at that. Just skimming that surface of the Pacific Ocean, scooping up that nice cold ocean water, and then they fly over the fires and just put out the flames.
But to Trump's point, I don't know if he spoke directly about the planes, but talking about being better prepared for these types of situations, why doesn't California have a couple of these planes?
That's the question. That's the question of the hour.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Doug, I'm sorry, I missed Doug's call. I don't know if he's still there, but Doug online.
Yeah, he's still there.
Oh, Doug's still there. He wants to know, why does Dawn always defend Sherelle Parker? I didn't defend Sherelle Parker today, did I? I just said she
You don't think he said
is
anything really
expected
too
to
positive,
speak.
did you? Yeah. You want to hear Doug?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug.
Hi there. Hi, Dawn. Love you.
Love you, Pat.
Love your show.
Thanks.
I do. I just have my only complaint is I work in Kensington, and it's I have a business there, and it's an absolute nightmare. And I remember Sherelle Parker's going to brag about how much she's going to clean up Kensington, and it's her job, and she's going to do it, and rah, rah, rah. And then one day she cleaned it all up in one day, and she had a press conference of how good of a job she did. And the next day, it's back to normal. The drugs are on the streets. I drive by. I see a naked man running with a machete. I can't take my wife to my work. I can't take my kids to my work. I can't even go to work without having a nightmare every time I drive into Kensington. And so to keep praising this mayor that is just like the rest of the typical mayors, they do nothing. They do nothing for the people. They do nothing for the people to help these drug addicts. They don't want to help them. They just leave them there. And we're at our ends. We just can't take the way that they're going to be positive in their administration. They're horrible. They do nothing. So Sherelle Parker, a big F-. You've done nothing that you promised to do, and that's my issue because it's important to me. I work in the city in Kensington.
Yeah, and you're living it. So would you say that it's as it's as bad as it was as far as Kensington being that, open drug market that we saw that they.
Well, the worst has been the last 4 years, of course, with this lame administration was terrible. They kind of like, I guess, the drug addicts being there. They give them the drugs. It doesn't make sense to me. How come nobody wants to help these people in Kensington? It's like they go there to die, and everybody's happy with it. So I want to just give my feelings of how I feel going to work every day in a complete nightmare. That's what we're doing in Kensington. So if she wants to say she's going to help us out, let's see her actually do something more than one day. You can't do one day, get all the press conference, clean everything up, and brag about how great you are that you cleaned it up, and you let it go back to the very next day.
And so,
that's my point, Dawn. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug. Yeah, and I don't have the answer. What's that?
She is live now, too.
She is. I don't have the answer as far as if it's as bad. I thought that they had greatly improved it, but I mean, Doug's right there, so he should know. I will say that within, there was the announcement with Mayor Parker in her first budget. City Council had okayed that $100 million drug treatment center in the Northeast. So they had said that they're putting a lot of money into drug treatment and taking people off the streets. So I'll try to get to the bottom of that, whether or not it actually went back to being as bad as it is. And that's disheartening. And I'm sure, for anybody who has to work with that in your face, it's horrible. What's your call, Dan? Do you want to go?
Let's go. There's a moment here where she actually says Middleton's there. Everybody's there at the press conference. Makes a joke for him to come up and join the rest. He's some kind of whisperer. Take a listen.
Harris. I've been also informed that David Blitzer is here, and I am grateful for that. Thank you, along with John Middleton from the Phillies. John, where are you? Why don't you come on up here with us, John? John, you're the battery whisperer. You have to come up here. I am also very pleased that the chairman and CEO of the Comcast Corporation, Bryant Roberts, he's with us here on today. Thank you, Bryant. And long-time WNBA advocates, Alex and Wanda Sykes, Starla Crandall, and Ashley Lunkenheimer, women who I've been in the vineyard for a bit with, and it's an honor and a privilege to have you here with us. Listen, we are all gathered here together on today and in unity. That's important for me to affirm. To formally announce that something long desired and exciting is happening in our great city of Philadelphia. It is unprecedented, and it has the potential to benefit our city for generations to come. Now, while we are going to ask the principals to provide the specifics of the framework that they're going to explain on today, we want to just generally say to you that the revitalization of our historic East Market commercial quarter is essential. The building of a new state-of-the-art arena for the Sixers is essential. And also the potential for that WNBA team. It is essential. And you heard me, John Middleton. What's the owner of the Braves that you had lead that tour, you and Comcast? What's his name, bro?
Terry McGurk.
Terry McGurk. That battery you've been hearing me whisper about is potentially a possibility. So I want to kick this off with us hearing from Adam Silver, who is the commissioner for the NBA. Adam Silver.
Well, first of all, let me thank you, Mayor Parker.
No, he's Zoom. He's on Zoom, right?
Yeah.
For your leadership in making this announcement today possible. And to my friends who are there from Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment and Comcast, especially Josh Harris.
Do you want to just monitor this?
David Blitzer and Brian Roberts. Thank you.
I'm sorry. We'll monitor it, okay? Because there's, obviously there's some stroking back and forth, and look, Mayor Parker, I will say this, and I think you'll agree with me. If anybody can see the glass half full, and she's spinning this in a positive way, But what she's also saying in her firm little way that I suspected she would do this, she's saying, you're not off the hook. You promised us revitalization on Market East, and that's what we want. That's what we expect. That's what I see her saying, no matter what else. And now she's inviting Wanda, who I used to love Wanda Sykes' shows. I don't see her as much, but she was so famous. What do you know, Jack? Like, she's so funny. She's hysterical. But Wanda lives in the, Chester County area with her partner, I believe. Anyway, so we'll get to all of it. Wanda Sykes, though, I don't see her that much. She's there, right? She's there. So this is Mayor Sherelle Parker, by the way, had said she's ready to work with the incoming Trump administration. She's game for a sit-down with the president-elect. So Mayor Sherelle Parker has said, yeah, I would welcome to a meeting with Trump, would love to sit down with him. And then what does that mean for the sanctuary city status? That's my next question. So your thoughts, 855-839-1210. So much developing, so much breaking. We got it all for you. Be right back.
Weather is sponsored by Meineke.
It is a pleasant start to the work week with temperatures a bit above average. It'll be partly sunny, turning breezy this afternoon with a high around 45. An Arctic cold front moves through tonight, mostly clear with a low 25. And a cold and windy day on Tuesday, sunshine and clouds with a high near 30.
When you step on your brakes, do you hear a squeal or a grinding noise? Don't wait. Take your car to your locally owned and operated Meineke, and their expert technicians will diagnose the problem. Find a location near you at Meineke.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Attention small business owners needing financing. Swish Funding is providing funds for expansion, inventory, increased overhead, even slow cash flow to small businesses all over America with affordable funding as soon as one business day. And we're ready to help with funding from $10,000 to $2 million. If you've been in business for 1 year or more with a monthly income of at least $25,000, you can get the affordable funding you need with no collateral. Go to swishfunding.com today. That's swishfunding.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Free speech in Philly on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
So the local breaking news this morning is that Comcast, along with Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment, they've announced that they have entered a deal, an agreement, to build a new home for the Sixers and the Flyers at the South Philadelphia Sports Complex. So no matter what the mayor is saying here, and I think Dan and I were talking during the commercial break, when you look at her face, if you see her on our YouTube feed, the mayor's not happy. I mean, this was a pivot that maybe they knew it was coming late last week, but I will say this, that while many are going to say, oh, these, you helped the deal with these wealthy people, it's almost with interest rates where they are. It reminds me of the debate where, okay, should we stay where we are and kind of fix up the house, if you will, or should we move to a totally different venue? I would argue to you, all we heard about city council was, well, they got to do $100 million for this and $100 million. I mean, it was just so much money being thrown around and so much criticism, and I just wonder at the end of the day they thought, let's just stay, they're going to get a new stadium, it looks like they're going to build, but they're going to stay in South Philadelphia where I think they can contain the cost better. I think that's what it comes down to, especially amid these times with high interest rates and so on and so forth. I think they're protecting their investment, and they're allowed to do that because I think city council, remember that? They were debating back and forth. Oh, this much money and this much. No, for all the impact. And you got to give this. And it's like, wow, this thing, how are we going to contain the costs on this? It was getting crazy. That, to me, that's my take on it. 855-839-1210. We'll move along. But that's what I see here. And I was amazed that they were really going to go through with it. I was. I'm not surprised that this happened. Because at the end of the day, right, these people are worried about paying for how they're going to pay for this. So I'm just saying.
It was all just a ruse by these billionaires.
No, I don't think it was a ruse.
It was.
I don't think it was a ruse.
Because now you look at South Philadelphia, you have these billionaires, Josh Harris, who wanted a stake in the South Philly real estate for the longest time. Now he's agreeing to partner with Xfinity and Comcast, which gives him that stake he's been wanting since day one. So he just used all these council members, made them look like idiots to their constituents, got his way in East Market just so he can say, one final chance, Comcast. Comcast is like, well, now we don't have a chance. We got to split it with you anyway, and they were used as pawns.
There were a lot of options on the table. In New Jersey, they wanted them to go back to the Jersey side of things, offered them tons of money. But I would say at the end of the day, that city council, Dan, every time I reported on it, it was just more money. And I'm not talking about a little bit of money. It was, oh no, remember that? Well, for the impact. We need it was like 100, wasn't it 100 million at one point? I mean, it was crazy money.
It was crazy
money.
Monopoly
because the
entire
money.
time Josh Harris was sitting there with his smiling, conniving, thinking, yeah, well, I can promise anything because I'm not going to go through with it anyway. It's going to be Comcast and us anyway in South Philly.
Well, maybe. Maybe it was, but...
It pisses me off because I've been a guy since day one that wanted that stadium in the East Market. I was really hopeful that it was going to happen. Yep. And then these guys, these billionaires, have a backroom meeting, and there was a vote on it. Voters had to... There was a democratic process behind it. Council people were there was meetings held, and all of a sudden these billionaires just
when you have city council
expecting
the private sector to just dole out monopoly money level stuff say, oh, 50 million here and 100 million here, and we got to have temporary this and it just seems like it's out of control. What did you expect? You have business people who they're not working with government money, which, by the way, is somebody else's money. So city council, they were not talking about their own money. They're not spending their own money. Trust me, if they got a percentage on how much they saved, those numbers would have been way lower. But when the government just goes wackadoodle over the money, what do you expect the private sector to do? Because they have to answer to somebody. And so I'm not surprised. It was out of control. And so I'm disappointed. Yeah, I was amazed. Like, really? They're going to go for this? This is crazy what their demand. It was crazy. That's what it was.
It was.
It got crazy.
It was crazy. And I think the entire crazy just is further evidence, again, though, that these a-hole billionaires were playing the game with the public and our elected officials and got what they want. Now they're smug with smiles on their face. And you had Edelman come up and label, thank you to all the city council members who were so fantastic in helping us with the initial plan, labeling them with letters now to the voters, essentially saying, look, these were the idiots we duped for so long. It's another instance of billionaires getting their way that pisses me off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but why are billionaires billionaires? Why are they? You know why? Because they have to look at the bottom line, and they have to not just they save their pennies to spend their dollars. That's why they're billionaires, and they invest correctly and wisely. And when you're dealing with an entity, in my humble opinion, where they just expect you to roll out ridiculous amounts of money as if it's monopoly money, when in fact it's hard-earned money, then this is what happens. They're going to go for the better deal, the art of the deal, right? And so the fact, I think what Sherelle Parker what the mayor's trying to do here is salvage something. That's what I see her doing today, to say, no, you made a promise that you will help revitalize Market East. What about the Disney hole and so on? That's what I see. So I'm just saying. We will move forward with the Dom Show. Remember, tomorrow morning we'll begin bright 9 a.m. That's when we will see tomorrow, starting at 9. These confirmation hearings begin this week, and with the big ones slated for mid-morning, and that's with Pete Hegseth. So we do expect some real fireworks on Capitol Hill. And then remember, in the Senate, we will see all the debate about moving forward with the Laken Riley law. We'll be talking about all of it moving forward, but up next, The Dom Show.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Cherry Hill, Saturday, February 8th, with Dennis Horan and Vince Valentine. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Hello, let's talk about prices. At National Appliance Warehouse, we have billions in buying power that we leverage in order to pass dramatic savings to our customers. We're passionate about offering the lowest price, so we developed Price Assured.